All right, everybody. It's Mike here. I'll begin with the Lord's Prayer and we'll get going. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, we've got Money Getting with Mike. The last 3 weekends of this month, so this weekend, of course, this Saturday, next Sunday, and then the final Saturday this month, we'll be closing out the NHB weekend sessions, all with Money Getting with Mike. And so we'll be specifically focusing on turning website visitors into money. In most cases, kind of on a repeat basis, potentially building a list and so forth, and really doing well with that. So I want to thank everybody here. I got a good morning, Mike, from Don. Anybody else, you can type in your chat window. I've currently got everybody muted, but if anybody particularly wants to come live and make a comment or anything like that, then you're most welcome to. I promise I would send out an invitation here. So let me just see if there's a way for me to do this. Give me 1 second here. Let me just mute Brad and Brett here real quick, and then if we need to, if they want to talk, I can bring them live later. A second here. Okay, all right, I'm back now. How many people on this event? How many individuals on this event that are live right now? How many of you saw or watched, either were on live or watched last weekend's Sunday Money Getting with Mike event that I did, where we talked a bit about we talked about the narrative, and we talked about Chris Haddad's capture his heart and make him love you forever. Did anybody see that? I wonder if it doesn't. It looks like we have quite a different crowd here today than we did on Sunday. Yeah, I missed it too. Okay, well, there is a download. One of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be making available all of the previous webinar and transcripts from Skype sessions in your NHB members area. It's going to take a little while for me to organize it and so forth. Things are kind of insanely hectic with the Endgame promotion that we're wrapping up right now. That's going great, but again, things are particularly busy at the moment. But I will be adding that into your members area soon, and that'll include last week's event. So last week we talked about. I know that a lot of people here didn't see it, but last week we talked about the kind of the sales narrative, which is the context that surrounds whether a sale is made in the first place or not. And this weekend, I want to talk about a core thing. And of course, if you have questions and stuff like that, or sites that you want me to go over and take a look at, then I'll particularly free up time. We're going to be going for about an hour and a half today. That's usually about how much focus I have to really pour into these, and I really enjoy them. But then after that, I'm pretty burnt out. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the core of a sales process that works, that really, really works. Now, let me ask, because we've got people live here, and somebody can venture a guess here, either live or typing it in. Why do I get particularly excited to show you a winning website, a website that's making money right now? What is so exciting for me? What are the particular exciting things about that? So, for example, last week we heard from an NHB, El Sayed, who had made $50,000 on a LaunchJack. Why was I so excited to share that with you? So you can either Don says teach a man to fish. Brad says proof that it works. Don, can you explain a little bit more by what you mean teach a man to fish? And I can also bring you live. Anybody who's on this event, I can easily just unmute you and you can talk. So either way, if you'd like. So just let me know in the chat box. Fran says show that it works. Okay, that's certainly true. But why is that important, Fran, to show you how it works? And these are great questions. Everyone's having great responses right now, but I want to push a little bit deeper than that. Anybody? Any guesses? I think everyone's feeling a little bit shy right now, or we have people that are typing things in. It motivates the hell out of you, Fran. Okay, that's good. That actually really makes sense. But why does it motivate you? I agree that if you really look inside of yourself, you see that it makes you more motivated, right? So if I pull up a website that really works, that's really successful, and just flat out converts and makes money, then and last week I pulled up was capture his heart and make him love you forever. So that's just flat out a winning sales process, a winning sales letter. Okay, great. Brett says eliminate self-doubt. Brett, can I bring you live for a second and kind of question you on that a little bit? Because you're on the right track, but I want to. Okay, great. It's kind of great for me to have somebody to talk to here. And so I'm gonna unmute Brett. All right, Brett. Thank you for coming live. And I can hear your keyboard, so I know you're there. So when you say eliminate self-doubt, so first of all, if I look at that word eliminate means to totally get rid of, right? So there is none anymore. Not reduce self-doubt, but eliminate it. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can everybody else hear Brett?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can hear you.
Before NHB, I was trying to get websites ranked, and I had mediocre success. I had a couple clients here and there, but really nothing to really hit it out of the ballpark. And I got to say, I mean, it's when I hear success stories and I see other people just like me who get websites, hit number one, converting it into a client, getting sales off of sites. I mean, that's motivation right there. But then it goes deeper than that. It's not just motivation. It's, you guys are basically giving us the tools to be able to get the results. And the very first one that I had hit number one, I hit the roof. I was like, woo, yeah. And then time and time again, I just keep getting more and more of them. And now, someone approaches me at this point and says, hey, can you do this for me? Can you get this website ranking for me? And I have no doubt that I can do it at this point. My response now is basically, yeah, I can do it. Now it's just a question of how long is it going to take to, based on competition and everything else. But it's that whole doubt piece of it. And prior to, getting into NHB and really seeing the working formula, I couldn't do that. I couldn't stand in front of somebody and have that conviction.
So it was almost like you had something pulling against you.
Yeah, I always had in the back of my mind, is this stuff really going to work? I couldn't, and on the sales side, I think it was transparent. It just came through.
Okay.
So I wasn't closing deals. Now okay. I walk into someone's office and I have that confidence. I don't have that doubt anymore.
Yeah. So here's a cool thing about that. So you took a different angle on things I was expecting, but it's welcome and it's a good one. And by the way, Fran just said that she agrees with you. So first of all, there's a very real issue that comes up if we go for really trying to make a sale and yet we're undermining ourselves. Essentially, it's not on purpose. It's not your fault. But if we are, I'll put it this way: if we are undermined, and we are undermined because we don't know that we can rank the site, for example, in this case, then we are undermined. And this really perfectly works with what I was talking about last week, actually. And everyone here will have to just go back and watch last week. So I'll have to do this a bit as a standalone lesson. But what I was doing was I was connecting the narrative to the final result, whether it worked like at the end of the day, with whether what you're selling fully works, okay, whether it's fully going to have success for that individual who's coming in, if they're really getting all the dots connected for them. And what happens is when we don't have that full picture of success, and I want to point something out. One of the things that we're going to get into, this is going to be quite nifty. Okay, I've got some very well, some I was going to say very unique, but unique is unique. I've got a unique twist today to share with you on something that's going to be surprisingly simple to implement, but is incredibly effective, and you're not going to hear other people talking about it. We want to eliminate doubt in any sales process. Eliminating doubt, and that's one of the reasons why I brought you live, Brett, was the word eliminate, right? You're not trying to reduce it, you're trying to eliminate it. So the angle that you took on things is different than what I was expecting, and it's welcome, is that you were talking about the confidence that you have from a local SEO standpoint, from a local client consulting standpoint, this is true for national and international client consulting as well, is that reducing that, or actually eliminating that doubt as to whether you can perform on the agreement. Then now if something goes wrong in the sales conversation, then it could be a couple things. It could be something with the way you're presenting things, which is fine. And it could be something with the client, okay? But there's nothing left. There's nothing else. There's not this undermining factor that leaves you kind of looking over your shoulder, wondering, and it just rips away at, it rips your power away. Does that make sense, Brett?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I got to tell you, even after I had websites ranking #1, I still had a little bit of doubt as far as, okay, well, is it worth $1,000 or $1,500 a month, or $2,000 a month to a client? Can I get that site to convert and get, leads and sales for the client? And I got to tell you, I'm past that point as well. Now, I mean, I had one site in a local niche. What are we? The 15th of June. So halfway through the month, I mean, this guy's got 7 leads, like bona fide real leads that.
Oh wow! Halfway through the month, they're worth how much?
25,000.
Oh my God! Well, no. Now, what does he sell again?
He's a high-end roofer.
Okay, wow. All right, so yes, so these are high end. I totally get it. I was actually just meeting with one of my clients who's a lawyer yesterday, and we were going through the metrics, and it's kind of funny because he pointed out that really almost any non-junk lead that comes in, he can convert. He actually disqualifies about half the leads. That's why he converts at 50%, because he disqualifies half of them, because he can kind of size the situation up. Almost every situation, he's a real Top Gun lawyer. He's been around the block. And so he knows what's going to make him money and what's not going to make him money. And so anyways, that's real money. I want everyone to keep this moment in mind, because I'm going to come back and talk about it, that when that phone is ringing for this guy. Now, So here's the thing about eliminating doubt. I'm also going to take you to one of many web pages that we've shown you that absolutely converts. In fact, I was just at there's a little bit more of a focus today on local. We've been having a bigger and bigger focus on affiliate, and last week was mostly talking about affiliate. We were mostly focused on affiliate last week, but I do want to get a little bit more into local. We'll actually hit upon both today when it comes to money getting. But there's this really incredibly powerful thing when it comes to the sales process, that when we eliminate this doubt internally, when we don't have doubt internally, then we're really able to swing for the fences, or swing our bat freely and really have a lot more success. And when we're able to show you a winning template, whether it's a winning template on how to rank a website #1, or whether it's a winning template on a site in a particular market that converts for a particular keyword, then that's something that can really, really help us. Let me ask everyone if that makes sense. So a winning template, it's something where we have a website, and if people come in, let's say it's for launch jacking, right? And it's for the $1 million mobile. I'm just something I just made up. Okay, so it's for $1 million mobile, and we've got a launch tracking site that has already made in the first few hours has already made like I don't know $5,000 in commissions. Okay, I mean just something crazy over the top, which is by the way about what El Sayed's site did. Here's something that happens is at that point I know that site is a winner. Look, we have things that are winners, and we have things where they're not clear-cut winners just yet. And we see this with SEO with Greg. Like Greg's process is winner. Like obviously you can have from time to time something can happen, something can go slightly awry, and that's fine. Competition can be a little harder than you expected. There can be something, but for the most part, in the lion's shares of the situations, it's just going to be successful. It is going to work. And likewise, if we find a winning web page, I'm going to pull a winning web page up for us right now, then that's going to really make a huge amount of difference. So I'm going to let's just search the search engines for wedding cakes Charlottesville. Now, how many people here have seen this site? Oh, it looks like we're number 1, what is this, number 5 and number 6. Yeah, this is fluctuating a little bit. But anyways, all right, so we're number 1. How many individuals here have, okay, Don, you've seen this site. Brad, you've seen it. Pete's seen it. Okay. Does anybody have any reactions to this site? Brett, have you looked at this site yet?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, great. All right. Well, what are some of the things that you see when you look at this site? And I will tell you this, to be fair, this site is a huge winner. I was just this is right downstairs from my condo, and I was just down there this morning. And you know what they were doing this morning, Brett?
What's that?
Making wedding cakes. Making lots and lots of wedding cakes, birthday cakes. I think it was like last weekend they had 5 wedding cakes. It's huge. It's huge because without that, the rest of the business doesn't work. It's a bakery, but without those high-end sales, without that big back end, it just doesn't. The whole thing breaks down. So yeah. Now I did several versions of this site until I finally found a winning formula, and finally this formula wins. Why do you think it wins? And what is it about this site that you think particularly works? So this is where I am right now. This front page right now at this very moment as I'm saying this. This is when people arrive. It looks like this. This is thesis grind, and then it's going to start going through slides. So this is the second slide, and then the third, fourth, and fifth slide, and then it'll come back to the beginning. So why do you think that this website works? And let's start with a listing, right? Because the first thing that happens is they see this website here. They can also possibly see these videos. They do see Paradox Pastry a number of times. We're typically in these top listings here. We were number 1 and number 3. It looks like Cedarville Cakes overtook this video right here. So it looks like we're number 1, and then here and here. So I'll start you with a few things. One is that the Paradox Pastry a number of times. So I'll start you off with that. They have a bit of what we call propinquity, which is where they see that Google's recommending it again and again. Oftentimes, like I said, it'll be here. But what are some other things as you look at this listing and click in on this site? What are some of the things that you see about this site that you think that might be helping it be a winning site?
Well, one thing I like is the fact that you have the phone number in the title.
Yep, I agree with that.
I mean, I love that. And then also in the description on the first listing, you start out with the owner's name.
Yeah, so I agree with that.
I like that personal connection.
Well, and also notice here, uploaded by Jennifer Peterson, uploaded by Jennifer Peterson. Right. So we have Jenny Peterson here. Obviously, it's not hard to connect the dots.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, I like that. And then I also on the website, that first image when she's holding, what is that she's holding in her hand?
Dough. She's holding dough in her hand. Okay. Yeah.
But that's like an inviting, like she's looking right at you,
exactly.
Putting her hand out with something in her hand.
And I think that this image with her manager Maureen, I think it's also very inviting, right? Yeah. Like Like it's just very kind of real. And then from there, I kind of just go to like a little. I ratchet it down a little bit
Sure.
because I don't want it to be too intense for people where they're getting kind of overly stared down. Um,
Yep.
but okay, now we have somebody. Let me. There's somebody who's in their first 3 months. I want to get them in the session. It'll just take me just a moment to do this, and it'll be nice for them to be able to get in. So let me just grab this invite here real quick. Try to keep this stuff handy. Jennifer Erickson. Okay. Great. Okay. So I love that word inviting. Does everybody and we have some more feedback here. Brad says I'm getting hungry. Good to know, Brad. Don says it looks great. I agree. By the way, I really agree with Don. It looks great. This site looks great. Which was also a big confidence builder for the client, for Jenny. Like when she saw this website and when her manager Maureen, when they saw the website, they had a visceral reaction. Like it looks great. Okay, that was a great feeling for them. Let's see. By the way, Brad, I'm getting hungry. Weirdly enough, I was going for that. Okay. I know I really wanted, by the way, looking at this right now, my mouth is watering. I can't help it. Right. Like, I mean, it looks tasty. Right. I mean, they had their actual first birthday bash just the other day. And we got somebody arriving. This is probably, anyways, I'll catch them up to speed when they get in. So they actually had their first birthday, bash. I'll go over to Facebook and show you, because I think that this is. I'll go into a bit of what I've been doing with this. I think this is pretty fascinating. What's going on with this? So Jen is in. Jen, you're joining us a little bit late. We will have a. I'm just going to mute you for a second, Jen, if you want to talk, if you particularly want to come live and talk, just to quickly catch up to speed. We're talking about how important it is to have how important it is to have a winning template. And by winning, what we mean is something that works consistently, like Greg's SEO is constantly putting us on page one, number one, and that eliminates doubt. It doesn't reduce doubt. It can eliminate doubt fully. And in the same way, what we're doing right now is looking at a website that kills. This website is incredibly effective at selling wedding cakes. Okay, it is a salesperson imprint for wedding cakes, and it kicks butt all up and down the street, all the way starting with the Google listings, the multiple Google listings from here, and here, and these bounce around a little bit, and throughout the website and throughout the process, Jen. So that's just to quickly catch up to speed. And as this event goes on, we've got a little bit more than an hour left in this event. As this event goes on, we'll help you catch you up to speed. If you have specific questions as you're going through, go ahead and type it into your chat window, and we can also bring you live if you'd like. Right now, we have Brett Lewis live. So Brett, you pointed out that right away, this website is inviting. We've gotten other feedback, and it's inviting because we've got Jenny right here staring back at you. Now, this is an important change I made from the very beginning, Brett. You're very right. When I first did this website, I did not have Jenny looking back at you here. I just had a wedding cake, and I don't know why I didn't do it, because it. So I put Jenny front and center on her own site. I like how I displayed these cakes here. And all I did to do that was I just did it in Snagit. I just had I made these images and I just moved them around in Snagit, like I show you in the graphics design videos and so forth. And also really particularly like how the phone number is really clear here. You can click through, and if you click through, you really, like, everywhere you see the phone number is really going to stand out. Like right here, yeah, there's words, but then ultimately we've got the phone number here. Also notice that Martin snuck in the back door and did some interlinking on this site. Does anybody notice he's got Martin is like he's like an interlinking elf or something like that. Whenever I go to our pages and stuff like that, I find things that are interlinked that weren't before. So this links back to Paradox Pastry's website. And can everyone notice that what Martin's done on page is what Greg was talking about doing on the webinar? Can anybody see what's happening when I'm hovering over Paradox Pastry and what's going on with that and what that has to do with SEO. Brad says title. What about title, Brad? Let me just ask you that. It's just kind of an important point that if you can realize. And then we've also got custom wedding cakes in Charlottesville. Exactly, Don. Don said it exactly. Branded anchor. Exactly. So we're branding this with the in title. So title equals, if we looked at this backlink, and then the title of this would equal custom wedding cakes in Charlottesville, which is something that we're trying to rank for, and then Paradox Pastry is a link out of the site to another site that's essentially, it almost makes it like a blog network site in this case, and so that's really cool. So anyways, as you click on that, really the call to action again and again and again is for folks to pick up and call this phone number. Okay, let me back up here. Don pointed out compound anchor also. Yes, that is something sneaky that we have been working on, which is doing interlinking with compound anchor text. Now, Greg points out, don't overdo this stuff with using compound anchor text in your interlinking. You don't want to like go, completely crazy with it and have it everywhere. But yeah, including it is going to be smart. Now, something that, by the way, Jen says, great. Thanks, Mike. You're most welcome, Jen. We're so glad to get you in. Now, Dawn says, the intro is personalized and friendly. Makes you feel that she's the one to make the cake for you. Let's read the intro. I'm going to just move this out of the way for a second. Hey, I'm Jenny Peterson, owner of Paradox Pastry. When people are looking for Charlottesville wedding cakes, then this is the right place. We've helped hundreds of brides bring their perfect wedding to life. I trained at one of Paris's premier culinary schools, and my highly trained staff of sugaristas and sugarmeisters and I are at your disposal to help you create memories of a lifetime. The perfect wedding cake comes from a recipe of artistry, chemistry, mixed it with a lot of passion and above all love. The best wedding cakes in Charlottesville, VA. That's what we do. Call us at phone number to begin your journey by scheduling a wedding cake consultation. Now, I did literally sit in this in Paradox Pastry for like a week making this. Now, I wasn't that I was doing nothing else while I was doing that. I was doing my work and so forth, but I actually sat there with my laptop and just watched things going on. I recorded about 20 videos as they were baking up cakes and muffins and croissants. And some of the things that came up that they talked about again and again were chemistry, getting the exact right temperature, literally to the 1 degree on the fondant. It has to be like within 1 degree. If it goes over 1 degree more, it won't stick. If it's 1 degree less, it doesn't gel. So it's, literal chemistry. That was a very big, important thing to them. Very artistic. Okay. One of the things that I kind of point out here, is the first word that you see is artistry. Okay. I think that's very important for somebody who is thinking about artistry, chemistry, and love. Someone, a bride or a mom, or even a husband thinking about his wife or whatever, future husband, they are thinking about, what is it going to look like? Is it going to be beautiful? Is it going to make, because of course, if you think about the wedding dress that's involved with the wedding, is everyone has that kind of gasping moment where they see the bride. She comes out and she's so beautiful, and she's got her beautiful wedding dress, and no one's seen it before. There's that reveal, right? Well, in the same time, the other big reveal at a wedding is the wedding cake. What does the wedding cake look like? So we've already had that exciting moment. One of the things to think about is your wedding cake is like the best supporting actor at the wedding. And so we really want the best supporting actor does what? That takes the pressure off of the lead actor. And that's really what I wanted it to do in this case. And I think it does. So these were all thoughts I had. I wrote this, but I wrote it out of what I was seeing. And again, I went with artistry, chemistry, and love. These are things I wanted to repeat again and again. And what stands out again and again is the phone number. The phone number really stands out. Here you can see it. Here you can see it. You can see it above the fold here. Got a little distraction from Facebook there. We see it right here, right above here. It's great here in the picture. So the phone number is everywhere. And then our work. Okay, this took me a little while to get together, but this is the portfolio images from Grind. and you can see our work. You can see a bunch of very different looking cakes. Some of them are classical. I tried to go with a lot of them that were classical because I didn't want to give people the idea that you have to get some zany, weird wedding cake. I wanted most of them to look pretty normal, like pretty normal wedding cakes, but there are a few crazy ones like this one here. Okay, and each of them has their own like little listing, their own little description. I didn't go over the top with them. This wedding cake was for the Price couple, and it was a real crowd pleaser, wrapped in fondant and ivory and green and crowned with a leafy fun. Okay, so they're just little one-sentence descriptions that flesh the site out. And then who are we? Owner. I'm Jenny Peterson. I graduated from Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. I'm very proud to have moved my 7-year Virginia certified home bakery into the premise of Paradox Pastry, where we've helped hundreds of brides and grooms celebrate one of the happiest days of their lives. Call, to schedule an appointment. All right, this is Head Sugarista. This is Maureen. I like the whole Sugaristas and Sugarmeisters. It has a real flavor. This site is fun. Okay, this site is really, really fun. Also, I like that I included this. This is a stock photo. This is actually off my stock photo. But I think this is a great image for this site. I think it really lights it up and makes it, the whole feel of this site is fun. And one of the things to realize is about a high ticket purchase like this, I am anticipating that people are going to come to this site and sit on it and look and look and look and click around and click around and click around. Why? Because it's about their wedding, right? This is such an important moment for the bride, for the bride's family. Presumably the groom doesn't care. He just wants it to go fine. Very understandable. Don says, I bet the bounce rate is low. I haven't checked it, Don, but I imagine if people are looking for wedding cakes, they're going to spend some time on the site. I agree with that. Don also says, powerful intro. Why would anybody in their right mind want to have a wedding cake made elsewhere? Well, here's the crazy thing, Don, is there's such high competition in Charlottesville for wedding cakes. It's actually an extremely competitive market for wedding cakes. First of all, they cost a lot of money. You can charge a lot of money for them, but yeah, a lot of this is a big wedding location. Charlottesville, Virginia is. This is very beautiful. It has a lot of estates and kind of celebrated inns and so forth, like the Boar's Head Inn and Keswick, and Kluge and so forth, like a lot of quite big celebrated places where we're really this is really a mom and pop shop competing with big boys when it comes to weddings. And if you want to bring in, for example, a Paradox wedding cake, if you want to bring in a Paradox wedding cake to the Boar's Head Inn, they're going to upcharge you a huge amount of money as a wedding cake cutting fee. So we're actually really up against brutal competition. So to answer your question, Don, the reason why I'm selling this site so hard is because the competition is brutal for this, and it's one of the reasons why this site is an especially good template for whatever you want for whatever it is that you want to sell. And we can go through some of those things. Some other ways that we might use this as a template for other sites. So what I want to do here is go through some of the questions here. Brett says, I love the Sugaristas and Sugarmeisters, anchoring psychology to Starbucks. Yeah, that's actually something I got from the client. So much of what you're going to get in these interactions, so much of what you're going to get is you're going to learn this from the client. And the first time that you do it, the client, she loves it. Oh, she's crazy about it. Yeah, she's just crazy about the site. And the other thing is they're just making money hand over fist. I mean, they're making at this point thousands of dollars a week off this site. I mean, it's nuts. You do 5, 6, 8 wedding cakes a week. It's nuts. They're killing it. She actually had an SEO person come in and try to sell her on the site. Actually, I put this inside of Endgame, but she actually recorded a testimonial video for us that I put inside of Endgame so people can use it to get and collect clients and so forth. And I can actually probably just pull it up and show you the video. It's pretty neat. Let me go to Endgame.
Hey Mike, you might want to mute me. My kids just got home. It's gonna
get loud in here. Okay, it's gonna get a little crazy. All right, just 1 second.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay. Let's go to the one-stop shop for client getting. Okay. All right, right here I have a video that you can download. So I'm going to download that. And I'm going to show you this. Hopefully it comes off well. It might be a little bit of an echo as I show it to you, but it's just a short video. And but Pierre, this is going to give you a good idea of how much. Oh, Brad, I'm inside of Endgame. It's the new thing that we've been talking about. The Endgame half coaching upgrade. Okay, what I'm gonna do is right now I'm on headphones, but I'm gonna unplug my headphones. I'm gonna play this video for you just so you can watch it. All right, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi. All right. All right. So you told me the story when somebody recently. Actually, you had a couple of interactions over the SEO on the site, stuff
right.
like that. Well, so first of all, you're getting cake orders.
Yeah, we're getting traffic seems to be picking up. Just more interactions, period, with Facebook and the site, and we're getting more calls, which is interesting because we've never directed via phone.
Oh, right.
So the phone has definitely started bringing more specifically about cake orders.
Yeah.
Before we actually got a lot more through
like referrals and stuff, right?
Internet, yeah, through referrals, yeah, random internet searches and referrals, word of mouth referrals, or people would go to the website and they would actually click on the email.
Right.
And so now we know that because of all the increased volume of phone calls, which is what you specifically really set up on the site, was call. So
all right. Yeah, no, it was funny. I was talking to I think it was either Maggie or Hannah, and she was like, "Yeah, every time the phone rings nowadays, it's for a cake order," which I think is really cool. Is that a phone call about cake?
Well, I thought we're testing out.
Oh, the phone rings a lot for cake throwing.
Doesn't ring for anything else.
It doesn't ring for anything else? That's so funny. That's great. So you have a bunch of cakes laid out here. How many cakes are you? Yeah.
We have 5 this weekend. We have 2 wedding cakes, 3 wedding cakes, 3 wedding cakes and 2 groups cakes.
All right. So you got approached recently by an SEO expert, and what was that like?
Well, it's interesting because we get because we understand it's like a big deal. It's a big part. It's the whole everybody goes internet, but and he came and he was kind of pushing his business on us, and we said, well, and I didn't want to just come right out and say stuff, but I let him talk, and he said, I said, well, we have a guy that's been helping us, and I said, so he's doing really well. And so he kept talking, and finally I just said, well, he's got us on page 1 of Google in 2 months, within 2 months. And the guy's face just dropped and said, yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So it was fast, it was effective.
And you're number 1.
Number 1, that's what I'm saying. And the guy was just, he said, yeah, and he kind of just dropped his spiel right then and there. He just said, yeah, I'd stay right there.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jenny. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, I am back. I don't know how well that came through. Was everyone actually able to see that, or did it kind of gum up and come out weird, or did it make any sense at all when you were watching that? It was fine. Brad was able to see it. Was everyone else able to see it? Brett got the gist of it. Pete, it's fine. Okay, so what's going on is that a little sloppy, but you can hear. The video was slow, audio was fine. Yeah, I figured GoToWebinar is really not made to unfortunately to show stuff like that. But hopefully you got somewhat of the gist of things. I really apologize for showing it to you that way, but I figured you get like much more out of me showing it to you than not showing it to you. And the thing is, really kind of shows the energy that they have into things. And the phone, it's literally true. It's one of the reasons why I asked. It was funny with Maggie there in the video. The phone doesn't ring there for anything else but people calling about wedding cake orders coming in off of this website or off of one of our videos. So it rings and rings and rings. And so the thing is, the whole purpose of me bringing this up is that when you have a process that works, okay, when you have, whether it's an SEO process that works or whether you have a conversion process that works, then you can really latch onto it. You can eliminate doubt and use it as a template. Okay, so first of all, what we are doing with this website here is really ramping up traffic to it because it works. It works like crazy. So the more traffic we get to it, the more things that we rank for and neighboring towns and so forth, the more wedding cakes are going to get ordered. It's just going to make more money. So that's obviously a no-brainer. But we can also really use this website, and you can use this website as a template because you can have a huge amount of confidence that this website converts like absolute crazy. Don says, I really like the black and white header photos. What made you go with them in the first place? Because I really wanted, that's a great question. So these scraper images right here, the reason I went with them is black and white. Well, first of all, let's see if anybody has guesses. Why did I make these background pictures black and white here? Fran says it gives a nice mood. Okay, put somebody in the mood. Jen says Jen gave the answer that I wanted. Makes the Jen and Brad makes the photos pop. Yeah, it seems like everyone's getting it. I really wanted people to focus in on the wedding cakes, but still feel like they're in the right location. Remember, one of our keys for conversion is making people feel like they're in the right place, like they're in exactly the right place. That the context of the thing, it's not like this is. I remember Brett, you and I had a talk with with your roofing site when, to me, initially early on, now I know it's getting calls like crazy, but to me it looked like it was like maybe it was a car racer website or something like that. Wait, what do you guys? Oh, that's great. As wedding cakes for a niche. Oh yeah, change. Oh, that's wonderful. Brett, is it possible for us to look at that? I'm just kind of curious about this. This is by the way, this is a pretty standard 1,000 a month kind of site. Okay, let me pull Brett live again, and we already know that he may have a bit. This is a site that Brett and I worked on a bit. We may have actually worked on this a bit during one of these Money Getting with Mike sessions. Brett, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, or maybe now when did we work on this site? We actually might have worked on this site when you were giving an earnings report for OMG. Maybe that's when it was. Is that right?
Yeah, you took a look at it. Can you hear me now? I just switched over my headset.
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
Okay, good.
All right.
It should drown out the rest of the noise.
Was it Roofing Allentown?
Yeah, Roofing Allentown, PA. And it's funny with the changes with Google, I dropped out of the #1 spot. I moved down to 3, and I'm back up to #1 now.
Great job.
With a couple minor changes that I did with with some of the stuff Greg suggested.
The branded anchor text, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's click on this sucker here. Oh gosh, this place looks so much better than before. I remember this now. Let's try to pull this up in Wayback Machine and see if it's got a listing for it. This is a great looking site now. Great job with that. So I'm going to go to archive.org or let's see, Wayback Machine. I think it's web.archive.org. Yeah, web.archive.org. We're gonna see if they've got an old listing on this site. It's dicey. May not. Oh,
yeah,
great.
That's when I was starting to rank it.
So this is when you're first starting to rank it, and again, it didn't pull calls with this. Okay, so this was a little too generic, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a phone number on this yet. I didn't have it sold at that point.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, in fact, that banner sign that's missing, that was actually my for sale sign that I placed on there, and that's how I sold the site.
Oh, that's great.
The contractor called me and wanted to know about this.
Wonderful. Yeah, and it looks like we don't have a later version of it. What the website did look like, to give everyone an idea, is, to me it looked like you were. Oh, and you got the line drawing video. I love that. To me, it looked like it had to do with cars because it was showing his fleet of trucks. Is that right? It was kind of like over to the left over here.
Exactly. He was absolutely hell bent on having his, showing how big of a fleet of trucks he had.
Right.
And
now instead he gets phone calls, which is better.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, this is a great winning makeover. If you can find the old version of the site and send me a screen capture of it, I'd love that. By the way, I wonder if I recorded that on video when we met. I wonder if we did. Okay, expect the. Let me write that down. Actually, I bet I did record that. Okay, I love this stamp right here. This is great. Expect the very best. Master Construction. This feels really great. It feels like boom, authenticity. Okay, name, email, phone. They can call in there. The phone number, very, very clear right here. I would spam the phone number a little bit more if I were to make some changes to this. And it is right here. Quality roofing. It's in the title. Have you considered bumping the phone number back a little bit so so it's somewhere here in this text up top?
Yeah, what I might do is change out the quality roofing,
Yeah, because that seems like
change
who
some of the
cares?
text, and then
Yeah,
place the phone number there.
yeah, or even just bump it down. You know, quality roofing can still be in it, but it can just be the phone number first, then quality roofing.
Yeah.
I like that. Trusted roofing. I like trusted. That's great. In the Allentown, PA area, our roofers strive and 100% satisfaction. Call today. The phone number is there. That's great. So this is great. Now you actually had resistance. You wanted to put the guy in the picture. He kind of gave you some. He pushed back, right? He didn't want that.
Yeah, he doesn't want his face out there. He's kind of a behind the scenes guy,
Okay.
so I said that's fine.
Yeah, you got to respect
Work
that.
around it.
And this is great. You've worked in testimonials here. Great here. Great here.
Yeah,
Testimonial
they didn't
videos.
have any. Yeah, they had no video testimonials. That was one of the first things I got
Man,
for
this
them.
kicks butt. I gotta tell you, this is a kick butt site. And again, you're seeing a winning template. And what do we have here? You get to this website. It looks like you're somewhere. It looks like you're somewhere that has to do with roofing. I even like how you have the pictures cut off here, by the way. So it's not about houses, it's about the roofing, right? You're seeing
Exactly.
the roof. And you're seeing high-end roofs here, which is what you're going for. You're going for high-end roofs. You're not showing some dinky little shack. You're showing a nice tricked out spot.
Exactly. Yeah, the deals that he's getting there, like 3,500 to 4,500 Center Hall colonial styled houses, just like the photos.
Yeah. You're saying 3,500, 4,500. Is that the cost for the
Square
roofing? Oh, square
square
foot.
feet.
Yeah,
Square foot.
so
Yeah,
these are expensive houses, right? These are what, like in the $250,000, $500,000 range?
yeah, and these roofs are 15,000 to $30,000 roofs, depending on how many valleys and
Wow.
peaks and everything.
Wow, that's excellent. That's killer. Okay, and so right away we know we're in the right place, and we're really being greeted by both of these women here, right? They're looking at us. They're looking back at us, giving us that sense of contact, right? You also have the social signals up here. Connect with us, a little bit of homie stuff. Love this stamp. I just go wild for this stamp here. As people scroll down, they're seeing the testimonials right away. These people looking right back at you, and they look like the kind of people that are probably buying these roofs, right? Like a little bit later on in the years. And for the client, he gets his trucks, right?
Absolutely.
Good for him. No, and we want to work with them. We want to work with them, but just don't let it take us out. Love these trust signals right here. Chamber of Commerce, Installation Excellence, Master Elite. This site has come. This is night and day. Would you agree with me when I say this is night and day? You have infused passion into this site. This is a site that you can direct anybody to, whatever market they're in, and they can want this site.
Yeah, that's I went through a lot of revisions, just like you on the wedding cake one. I went through it. I just kept going back and back and back with it.
Love this. Read more, read more, read more. This is killer. This is killer. All right, let's check with the peanut gallery and see if we have any. Does anybody have any comments or questions about this site? This is very, very valuable. One of the things I just love about NHB and OMG in general, but I love this about NHB is we have a culture here of not just gratitude. When I first met Brett was coming live to give us an earnings report to let us know that that NHB is working for him right now. He's starting to make some money. That's number one. But we also have a culture of generosity, and Brett is being very generous, revealing to us a site that's working, giving us a template that we can use, that we can build on and understand, and pull elements from when we're creating our own sites. Fran says good job, and Travis says gotcha. That's good. That's good. And Brett says this is Catalyst, and you coded the estimate form.
Yeah, Brad
You
had a
coded
question
this.
on that. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What did Brad say? Uh, Brad says, Brett, what is the free estimate widget in the right sidebar? Come with theme or plugin. I need one of those for my site. So that is really, really killer stuff.
Yeah, what I did
Good.
What I did on that was real simple. I used Contact Form 7 and some CSS just to clean it up a little bit, and I
Okay.
put it in the sidebar widget. So it's simple to do.
Okay. Contact form number 7,
Yep.
and that's really great. Contact number 47 from Catalyst.
The Catalyst theme and then the plugin for the form was Contact Form 7.
Contact form 7, is that from Catalyst or is that from somewhere else?
No, no, that's a free plugin
Okay, so the plugin is
for
called
Contact.
Contact. So I'm saying that correctly. Contact form number 7. Let's go to Google and I'll pull that up just so everyone can see it. Contact form number 7 plugin.
Yeah, I don't even think you need the number there. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, here we go, right here. Contact form 7 WordPress plugins, and boom, there it is. All right, great, great. And you said you cleaned up the CSS. What does that mean?
I just use CSS to get the form to look a little bit nicer than the generic form.
Okay, all right, great. Great. Really appreciate that. It's a great that's a great tip. Okay, and let's see. Yep. Donald's pointing something out. Donald's pointing out a great tip. He pointed this out in private because he didn't want to embarrass me. He said, Don, of course, you don't mind me bringing this up in public, just to make sure. Pete, night site renting or sold the site. No, this is a site that's making him money right now, Pete.
Yeah, it's a rented site.
Okay, Don gave me the go ahead. I said, Mike, FYI, the cake slider images are missing as viewed on iPhone 4. Yeah, they don't come up. So it is a responsive theme. This is a responsive site, Wedding Cake Charlottesville. But the slider doesn't show up. It goes straight to the what we do and so forth. One of the things I'll be doing as I'm is looking at grind when it comes to the responsive theme of it. It is responsive, but then it doesn't. Uh, but then it does. Yeah, ultimately it works, but I think it can ultimately work better. So that's generally the thing with that site. Okay, so this is great stuff. Brett, I really want to appreciate you for that. I think that was really awesome stuff. Does anybody else have any other questions for Brett on this site before I mute him back out again? So if we go back over to Quality Roofing. Anybody else have questions? It's like we have everyone tongue tied. Got it. Got it all worked out. Okay, great. If anyone else has questions, you can bring it back up, and we can either bring Brett back live or he can answer in the. Okay, great. Yeah, and Don says it really doesn't look all that great on his iPhone 4. Yeah, that's something I'll be really working on to optimize the grind skin to mobile. One of the things that we saw when Tavis was talking to Matt Cutts, we saw this in the on Facebook, is that Google is going to be more and more expecting our sites to be mobile optimized, and that'll be something that we're going to be more and more focusing on, both with NHB and significantly with Endgame. And it is really important. It's going to become more and more important because so much of Google's search traffic is coming in off of mobile devices right now. So if we're not optimized for local, then it's really going to be an issue. And that's going to help us do a better and better job. Pete says ballpark figure on renting a site like roofing or a cake site. I don't want a disclosure. I want to understand. You know what, Pete? So much of it, I don't mind. This is $1,000 a month site. I don't know if yeah, Brett's is $1,100 a month. One of the big things to know though is that really as you get better at this, your price goes up. That's really what it boils down to. Is you do a better job, you're able to command more money. So your first site might be $1,000 up front, $200 a month on the back end, right? Or it might just be $1,000 across the board. Joe Marfolio right now is getting season. He's a little bit deeper into things. Now with the wedding cakes, I couldn't go but so far with it. So I mean, obviously I'm a premium level on that. Yeah, exactly. It is great for Joe. And Joe's going for hiring clients. I wanted to do the wedding cakes because it's actually a shop that I visit a lot. It's normally a little bit smaller of a client that I'd normally take, but then it really worked out well because it's just a shop that I go to a lot, and it was particularly easy for me to really get down and dirty and get like a lot of great case study and detail information to share with NHBers and share with end gamers and so forth. So that's something that particularly worked out and particularly helped out. Okay, what I want to do here, we've gone to some good examples. What I want to do is talk a little bit more conceptually here, and something I think that's really going to help people who watch and experience this this event. Now, for doing any sort of conversion process, then one of the fundamentals of conversion is the idea of pacing and leading. Okay, pacing and leading. So I'm going to just quickly open up TextEdit here for a second here. And I'll open, let's see, new document. See if I can open a new document. It's not working for some strange reason. All right. Let's see, what's a good way for me to have a blank document on my screen? One moment here. Oh, I can just do it with OpenOffice. That's great. That's great, Brett. It's really good to know. Okay, so I'm pulling up a text document here, and I'm going to increase the font size so you guys can see it pretty well. Okay, so has anybody here ever heard of pacing and leading? Okay, pacing and leading. Brad's heard of it? Okay, Brad, in what context have you heard of it? Brad hasn't heard of it. Don hasn't heard of it. This is gonna be good. This will be very helpful. Anybody else? No. Okay. Actually, from you about getting the potential customer with you, leading the sale. Great, Brad. Okay, great. All right. So before OMG and NHB, you hadn't heard of this. Now you have. Okay. So here's what's going on with this. What happens? This is one of the fundamentals of NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. And really what that means is it's kind of using language and tonality and so forth to be convincing. All right, is the idea behind NLP. NLP is not the only way to do conversion, but it is a mainstay. It's one of the ways that people who are successful with conversion do conversion, is to use NLP. So there's a famous, I think Claude Hopkins said this, that what you want to do, Claude Hopkins was a world famous copywriter. He said that what you want to do is enter the conversation that your prospect is already having in their head. Okay, so when I say that, what comes up for you? What does this make any sense to you? Like this is kind of a key. We want to enter in. Pete says, nope, doesn't make sense to me. All right, great, no problem. Oh no, you're saying no, you hadn't heard of it, Pete. I got it. All right, so you want to begin by entering the conversation that your prospect is already having in their head. What is that talking about? And let's see if I get any sort of feedback on this from anybody. And if you have no idea, that's fine. And I assume that people are typing a little bit and so on. Or maybe not. Maybe nobody has anything to say. Just give it a few seconds before I start talking. And it's also worthwhile to know if people are drawing a blank. That's good to know because then it's particularly valuable information. Brett, you're saying context. What does that mean? I can actually just bring you live if you want.
Thanks. I can talk. I can talk faster than I can type.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Where I was going with that is making the conversation relevant to their point of reference.
Their point of reference. Very good. Now, Don says, I hear countless pitch style presentations asking questions that really only have a yes for an answer. That's right, Don. That person is trying to pace and lead. They may not be doing a good job of it, but that is trying to pace and lead. Jen says, relating to what they might be thinking, questions that they want or don't want. Want or don't want. That's a great point. Okay. So, for example, when we were looking at the roofing site, the previous version of the roofing site, it had these trucks were kind of front and center in it, right, Brett? And to me, as I look at this location, to me, Masters, I'm thinking this has something to do with automotive. Now, that may be wrong of me, okay, but that's my first thought. Is I was thinking, I don't know, maybe that's somewhere where I go to get auto parts or something like that. You know, maybe they cars.
Yeah, your email to me said this looks like a car dealership.
Okay, great.
The very first thing that you said to me in the email.
Yeah, it was just my thought. And it doesn't mean that I was right. It just means that's what I thought. And that was a conversation going on in my head. Now, as I look at this here, now this website looks like it's about roofing. Okay? So here's the thing is somebody goes to, and by the way, this is one of the secret powers to Google, is pacing and leading. Okay? So pacing means to walk with. Okay? And what that means is, that in order for people to feel like they're in the right place and to have trust, it's a real key to the way that the human mind works here. And if you've never heard this lesson before, it's really going to help you. Our mind sorts things into us's, and them's. Okay? So there's us's and there's them's. Okay? We're us's. Us's are to be trusted. Us's are right. Us's are like us. Okay, so for example, when I'm let's say talking to other guys who are comic book fans about superhero movies, then we can talk about X-Men and we can talk about Batman and the Avengers, and we're us's, and it's easy. What other us's say about comic book superhero movies and so forth is to be embraced and understood, and I can discuss it. But it's very convincing. It's going to be automatically highly convincing. Whereas if I'm talking to my mom about a superhero movie, she's a them. Okay, she's on the other side. She's on the away team, right? She's a them. And whatever she thinks about superhero movies is to be resisted. She is not to be trusted when it comes to superhero movies, right? She has no idea what she's talking about. She is as wrong as can be, and whatever she thinks is just basically wrong to begin with. And even if she gets lucky and gets right, she's still wrong because she's wrong, okay? Because she's a them. This is what tends to happen with parents, where their children go from feeling like they are us's, and then the children become teenagers, and then parents are thems. Like, parents go from being very trusted, you can trust your parents, and they have your best interests in mind and so forth, to then the child becomes a teenager and parents become this embarrassing, completely wrong. And I don't mean this in every case. Of course, I'm being lighthearted about this, but they become to be. Brett says, "Yep, I'm a them in my daughter's eyes at all times." Right? Yeah, you have horrible fashion sense. You listen to all the wrong music. You have, if you have the right phone, it's for all the wrong reasons. and you just couldn't be more wrong. And keeping this idea of us's and them's in mind is incredibly important when it comes to marketing. When I come to one of Jason Calori has his wonderful lessons on conversion inside of NHB, and when you come to one of Jason Calori's conversion websites, when it comes to gold, you feel like it's us's, right? Like it's older people looking for a trusted investment, and they're going to be greeted with somebody there who's a flash video of a guy who looks trusted, and he's going to say things that sound good to them and that make sense to them. That the site looks like you're in the right location. When we go to the mysterymethod.net, if you're into pickup artists and the pickup artist world and the pickup artist scene, then this site isn't us, right? It's girls everywhere, and mysteries here, and exotic locations and all this stuff. It's this isn't a site, right? You have all these comments from other mystery people, you have pictures of mystery. This is us's, right? Like this isn't us's site. When we're going to Wedding Cakes Charlottesville, you're looking for a wedding cakes, you're in the right place. This is a place where people care about wedding cakes. They have artistry, chemistry, and love. These people care about wedding cakes. You are in the right place. This is us's. So what we want to do in our conversion at all times is we want to be an us, and that's going to allow us to make a sale. If we become a them, it's going to literally be very, very, very difficult for us to make a sale. And as long as we're an us, we're in a very, very powerful position. And for going for this is going to give us a contextual advantage. Now, Don says us's and thems. This is very powerful stuff. It is. Brett said, how did the conversions change on the gold site with Greg unpacking the 250K in gold? Did that help or hurt? I imagine it could have gone either way. I don't have the answer to that. I'll have to ask Greg on that. To some extent, it must have helped in the sense that he is an investor. As to whether the people coming to the site are identifying with Greg as a person, that's going to be more difficult. Like for internet marketers love them some Greg Morrison, right? He looks like an us. He's a guy working from home in a t-shirt, plain spoken. It absolutely makes sense. He's absolutely an us when it comes to that. I did a gold video. Let me go to my YouTube channel here. Let's see, that's somebody else. Oh, Jim. Jim accidentally came live. No problem there, Jim. All right, so let's go to youtube.com/video music showcase. So yeah, I did a gold video at some point, and let's see, videos. Yeah, this video here, and like I'm obviously going more for the us because you're never going to see me in a suit, right? Like that's never going to happen. But I did it for this video because I wanted to be an us. Looks like this video is having a little bit of trouble loading. Okay, look at me. I got a suit on. I got to be trying to be an us, right? Now I probably should have had a tie on, but that's okay. At least I'm more of an us in this video than obviously than normally I would be. Brett says it's tempered without a tie. Yeah, I think I just forgot to put on a tie, Brett. I think I probably should have had a tie on, but that's okay. That's okay. Maybe it does temper it a little bit, and maybe it does. Maybe it does ultimately. Or yeah, Pete's like, wow, why don't you have a hat on? Exactly. So I wanted to be more of an us, and we want to be able. We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to be an us. We want our site to say, I'm an us. Now, a secret key with Google is that if Google says you're an us, you're part way down the road. As long as the text of your little Google ad or of your listing looks like you're in the right place. Yeah, wedding cake, Charlottesville, roofing, Allentown. As long as it looks like you're in the right place when it comes to that, then you're going to get. And because kind of the secret key is you want to kind of pace people 3 times before you then try to lead them to some call to action. That's why we say pace, 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 lead. And the word pace comes from to walk with, to pace somebody, like a pace car, right? We want to pace them and then we can lead, all right? And so what I wanted to do, I drew up something here, and I think this is really going to, personally, I believe this is going to be extremely valuable for everybody who's involved here. I'm going to go through a few different markets here that NHBers might wind up seeing themselves involved with. So make money online. So if you're in the make money online niche, then what is the archetypical thing that somebody? This is great. did you determine us from Quanticast? Don asked. No, I determined us from being an extremely brilliant internet marketer when he was very good at conversion. Now I'm not brilliant at other things, Don, but yeah. Brett says, so I'm working on a lacrosse site and I'm going to shoot a video for it, thinking about tapping me coaching the kids, being an us for the Coach Player audience. Absolutely agree with that. Okay, Don, I was a little bit tongue-in-cheek about the brilliance, but actually, when it comes to stuff, you just got to get it fully right. So actually, let me begin with something before I do make money online. I'm going to give you a little bit of a no-brainer. I believe that somebody in the audience will be able to pick this out. We had somebody new come and visit us here. Chris. Hey, Chris, welcome. Okay. So for the health and fitness, I'll say for the fitness niche, let's say for women's weight loss, then what does somebody want to see for a women's weight loss site? What does somebody want to see to make them feel like they're in the right place ultimately? Like at the end of the day, what is the result? How do we signal to people? What's the fastest, most efficient way to signal to somebody coming to a fitness women's weight loss site that you're in exactly the right place? All right, let's get some questions in. Chris, I tried to catch up to speed, but you're coming in a bit late. So, okay, Jen says trim, fit, attractive. That's a start. Brett says skinny chick in huge pants showing off all the weight loss. That's good. There we go. Don got it. Jen got it right when Don got it. Before and after. That is critical when it comes to weight loss. So if we go to healthy tips. Okay. If we go to healthytips.com, we certainly have people who are fit and trim and attractive. Okay. And that definitely works, and that definitely helps. Like, you feel like you're in the context of a gym and so forth. But a lot of what you'll see us adding to this site is going to be before and after pictures. So if we go to Insanity versus P90X.org, then right away what you see is Greg's, like, people's eyes are really drawn to this. Greg's before and after, and Aaron's before and after. And we actually now have a ton of additional before and afters that we've developed, mostly because of Renell, that we're going to be adding to these websites. Okay. Brett says, I like the changes in the site, better background. Yeah, I agree. That's that site's Catalyst, and it definitely is better. Okay. So let's see. Where was my open office document? So, okay, what you want to see is before and after pictures. Okay, so this really is what works when it comes to health and fitness, is before and after pictures. Now, with Make Money Online, what are people looking for? Let me ask you that. So what is the before and after pictures version for Make Money Online? And it's actually pretty universal to make money, but I'm just saying make money online. So for millionaire mobile.com. Okay, Brett says rags to riches story. Okay. Don says lifestyle. Brad says flat broke and no money to living in a mansion. That's the typical pick. Okay, great. All right, I'm going to say something I think it's a little bit controversial. I think that this is all people want. Earnings report. I used to believe that the before and the rags part of things really mattered. It does matter. It's not irrelevant, and if you have it, use it. Okay. Brett says snapshot of a bank statement. Ultimately, I think what people want is an earnings report. Now, the more we can contextualize that earnings report, show top Google rankings, maybe show the actual site itself that's making money. You can contextualize a little bit by saying before I was making less money, after I'm making more money. But ultimately what people want to see, in my opinion, in the make money market is earnings reports, okay? Because they figure that even if somebody is already making a lot of money, if they just knew how to tap into what that person was doing, that they could then make money too, okay? that is my belief. I think that that's a really good tip for you. I think it's one of the reasons why OMG is so incredibly successful. Here's a fun one. Game advice. Okay, so we did this with our Magic the Gathering niche. We were very successful with it. What are people looking for? What is the before and after or earnings report of this niche? And this is a great exercise. If you're watching this as a replay, you can also be playing along and writing down your guesses on these things. Okay, game advice. So you have a poker strategy site. You have a Magic the Gathering site. What is the archetypical testimonial that we want to put on our site? Chess advice site. Let's get some guesses in. Anybody? Consistent winning hands, Brett says. Okay. It's a good guess, actually. Anybody else? Give it a few seconds here. Brad says checks. He's all about the money. Bluffing strategies that work. Okay. So, Brett, you think that like trophies, Brad says, that's interesting. Bluffing strategies that work. So kind of signaling to people that you're kind of bright and brilliant. Okay. That's great. Great guesses. Don says money. The answer is kind of weird. We used to call them annihilation reports. Okay. But what that means is I just trounced my buddy. Okay. Really, it winds up in games that you just want to brag. Okay. You just want to brag. All right. This is what people with Call of Duty, if you had a Call of Duty website, World of Warcraft website, you just want to brag. All right. That's what's going on with that. Jim's somehow Jim's situation keeps taking it. Brad's like, nice. Yeah. Does this feel like a little insightful? It's interesting because these other things, and I have tried other things. I think it's useful for you to see these winning templates. This is the winning template. This is what works. What really works is what really works right now. All right. All right. This is a surprise. Don says very insightful. That's great. Yep. Brett says I can see the carryover into sports. Bragging rights. Very good, Brett. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, let me change this. Sports. Okay, great. Yeah, it seems like everyone's digging this. Okay. Go to normal font here. Relationship advice. Okay. So what is it for relationship advice? Okay, we'll review some of the things that we've done here before. And this is going to signal that you're an us. So we're signaling that you're an us. We've got before and after pictures. We've got earnings reports. We've got annihilation reports. What is it for relationship advice? What is it that people are going to look like? They're going to come to your site. They may not even know they're looking for this, but this is what they're looking for. What do they want to see on your site? Don says couple together. Okay. I'm going to wait till we get a couple guesses on this. This is a fun way to wind things down. Couple, that is. Yeah, of course, Don. Yeah, absolutely. Any other guesses? Got a lot of silence here. People are thinking. Might be typing out long, detailed replies. It's fine. The silence is good. It gives us time to think through our answers. I can do it too, Don says. Wedding pics, Brad says. Okay. All right. Guys, let me start punching holes in what you're saying because I think it'll help. Average looking person hooking up, Brad says. That's funny. That's good. Okay, so let's start with our first guess, and you can keep guessing as I'm talking about this. Brad said, or Don says, couple together. Yeah, Don, the couple's together now, but what if they break up? Brad, wedding pictures. Yeah, but half the couples get divorced. Dawn, I can do it too. Yeah, you can do it too, but you can also end up lonely too. Brett, average looking person hooking up. Yeah, but maybe they have some unfair advantage. Brett says happiness. Yeah. Yeah, but what they're happy now, but what if they're unhappy later, Brett? Brad says senior couple together. Yeah, but maybe they just met. And maybe they're going to break up too. I know I'm sounding like cynical and horrible. By the way, I know we got Fran and Jen here. They're probably nodding their head. They're like, Mike, you tell them. I know I sound like a brat. I don't mean to. I'm telling you, this happens. I've been in this market. It's tough. Learning the keys to meeting a bunch of guys, girls. Okay, Brett, you're getting on the right track. All right. In case you're braingasm. That's what people really want in this market. Okay. They want you to sound smart. They want you to sound brilliant. Okay. Brilliance is sexy. Okay. In this market, it's so hard. There is no any earnings report, any before and after pictures, any bragging. None of it works because we've all watched Friends, right? And at the end of the episode, everybody's happy. But what happens in the next episode? Ross and Rachel are fighting again. We've all seen movies where couples were together at the end of the movie and they sang the happy music and everything was great. And then part 2 and they're broken up again, right? The sequel comes out, or Sex in the City and stuff like that. So unfortunately, in this market, well, regardless whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, in this market, what matters, how else can Oprah wind up being a guru? Oprah and Dr. Phil are huge relationship advice gurus. How? Oprah's not even married, right? She just sounds smart to people. She sounds smart. Women come on our show and she sounds caring and she sounds smart, and it works. It works like crazy. I mean, I guess the show's not really on anymore, but when it was on, okay, sounding smart. John Gray sounds smart. Now, he is smart, by the way. A great shortcut to sounding smart is to be smart. There we go. Fran says a good listener. Exactly. So she is brilliant at listening, right, Fran? Brett says, I think with Oprah, it's more about sounding caring than smart. Yeah, very good. Exactly. But she sounds caring, but that is brilliant. That's brilliant. As far as the women are concerned, that they're watching her show, that's what they want. So as far as they're concerned, it's brilliant. A great person to study when it comes to this is Travis Sago. The Magic of Making Up Sales are really, really wonderful. Magic of Making Up.com. He really gets this, and he really presents a great insight when it comes to this stuff. David Mills is also incredibly good at this sort of thing. And by the way, you can use this stuff in other markets. You can be brilliant and make money online. It's just that at the end of the day, what people want and make money online is an earnings report. They're like, yeah, sounds good. What about the earnings, right? So everything flips the script. The script flips. The same kind of bratty kind of thing that I was doing in relationship advice gets flipped around when it comes to these other markets. All right, let's go to investment. Okay, investment. I'll kind of go through this a little bit faster. It's track record. Okay, that's what people look for in investment, is track record. This is the guy who figured out the such and such. Okay, and there are ways that we get this endorsements. Displaying the track record, wearing a suit. Believe it or not, all these things imply a track record. Okay, let's get to a big one. Small business owner. This is how we'll finish things off. This will be the last one. Small business owner. You're doing consulting for them. What do they want to see? Yep. Fran, you got to write right away. Results. But what does results mean? Everyone's saying it results. Yeah, because you're experiencing it. They want to see them make money. This is the most jaded of all of them. Okay, phone calls can be good if the phone calls are translating into money, right? What works for them. Now, of course, we can't walk in and show them making money, right? This is what they want, and they're going to be skeptical until they see this, okay? So what we have to do is create a context surrounding this. What we can do is we can show them other people making money. We can show them, this is really brilliant from Joe Marfolio when I was in Vegas, reports. Reports make them feel good. We tell them ahead of time, as in, I'm going to give you monthly reports. And then here is your monthly report. Okay. But that's what's going to work. Ultimately, they want to see them making money. So at least tell them, I want to see you making money, right? I want to see the phone ring. I want to see those phone calls translating into money. Exactly. Exactly, Brett. Show them what you did for them last month, and some keys to this. Of course, we literally can't show them. And if this helps you understand why these business owners can be so difficult, hopefully this will actually help you have a little bit of compassion for them. And we're still going to try to sell them and all that stuff, but it is a tough spot for them because they have everybody in the world promising them the sun, the moon, the stars, and some stars that haven't been named yet. So what we have to do is we have to help shade things and help them see things that they, kind of help shade things. So we can show them other people making money, other people ranking. This is, by the way, one of the reasons I love showing people my affiliate sites to make sales, because I just show them my sites. I don't mind showing them my sites. I don't mind them showing my money, because then they see somebody else, that it's working for somebody else. And so, it can then work for them, right? So that's a great shortcut. So with a small business owner, and remember, you can always, cheat a little bit and use the OMG sites that me and Greg have and show them off and, say, I'm part of a program that, includes these and that kind of stuff. And, I can do this stuff and so forth. But yeah, Brett says they're very skeptical. They are. And you know what? If you start in by expecting them to be skeptical and embracing that, then you're an us, right? You almost want to go in skeptical, okay? Because you want to be an us. You want to be an us, and that's going to help you, be on a fast track. We want to pace, and then we can lead, okay? All right, everyone, I want to thank everyone for this event. I really, really enjoyed it. I always enjoy these events. Absolutely. That's why I started doing with my model sites. That's great. Brett says thanks. Always great stuff, Mike. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks for your time. Thanks. Oh, I appreciate it, everybody. That's really, really wonderful. If you the best way to thank me is the best way to be an us, as far as I'm concerned, is go to omgmachines.com/blog/NHB and post your comments. Love getting your comments. We actually got we have 86 Facebook likes on here. We're up to 33 Facebook comments. Love those. Just got this from Josh from Fletch last week. Alan wrote this in last week. Gary just the week before that. Love getting these in. Even if you've already posted one, post your update. We love to have them. And there's also a regular comment section here. Really, really appreciate it. That is the best way to show us your appreciation. And I want to thank everybody. OMG is a city on a hill. NHB is a city on a hill. We love having you here. We're very, very grateful for having you involved with us. And we're looking forward to seeing your money getting. I'll be back next week. It will be Sunday next week for Money Getting with Mike. That'll be the second to last weekend session as we begin closing out Money Getting with Mike. All right, I want to thank everybody. Remember your pacing and leading. And thanks again to Brett Lewis for exposing his website, really going down and dirty with us. And I will see you guys on the inside of OMG Blog.